It's important to note that SLP is the lowest it's ever been right now. Look at the chart. And that they are making fixes to SLP, and when version 2 drops in the next couple months, obviously there's going to be a lot of sinks and use cases for SLP that drop, and the tokenomics are going to change drastically. I also think everybody harps on Axie Infinity and they go, SLP, 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 look at this shitty SLP chart. Well, you know, bitch. I'm gonna throw a bitch in this YouTube video. Look at AXS and shut up. Like, all these big time people, like, and I highly respect and love the content that Ledger Status puts out and Kobe puts out. I love their podcast Up Only. I watch it all the time. But sometimes when people like them and others, I won't even mention others because I don't respect them as much as I respect those two and want to give them a shout out. But when they mention SLP and rag on Axie Infinity, they don't purposefully do not mention AXS and how it's up only. It's literally the up only they talk about. You know what I mean? And you can stake AXS. Why has it dropped so low? So SLP has dropped so low because right now we onboard a lot of scholars and there's nothing to do with the SLP, but people are cashing it out and selling it for a living. A lot of these scholars come from third world countries where they need the earnings to pay their bills, to pay for school, to way to save on the side and invest. So there's a lot of sellers selling SLP right now, and there's not much of a reason for people like ourselves to breed because the prices are so low on the Axies. The SLP is not getting burned. We're literally buying off the marketplace and waiting for the tokenomics to change in the next inflow of players before we breed again. It's more profitable to buy off the market. So when that changes, when V2 drops and 3D Axie Infinity drops, which we can maybe start to look at over here. And we shot a YouTube video that we have another YouTube video about this land teaser, so you can find that in our YouTube if you want to hear more about the land update. Last year, they were planning land in Axie Infinity to be 2D like this. This was the artwork they had. This is now the artwork we're about to release. Look at that. Family-friendly game. Everybody around the world can play. Look at that. Don't tell me that this isn't going to be one of the best games in 2022. This is going to be one of the best games coming out in 2022. Now let's look at this thread here. I think this thread is very interesting and I haven't seen this. This is almost a video in itself. 2021 was the most rewarding, challenging, and jam-packed year of the journey so far. 2 major themes: hyper growth and infrastructure upgrades. Dude, they went from having 300,000 daily active users to 3 million daily active users. And I think it was less than that. I think it was like 50,000 daily active users or 30,000 daily active users January 1st, 2021 to 3 million daily active users in Axie Infinity. Think about the growth they had and the challenges they had to infrastructure to keep up with that growth all year. Explosive growth. 2021 saw us emerging as a community of millions from mere thousands. Axie holders ballooned 10,000%. 10,000% from 27,000 to 2.9 million. 27,000 to 2.9 million. Axie generated over 1.3 billion USD of value for the community treasury over the last 365 days.
Oh my God!
Marketplace volume skyrocketed starting in May. Axie's now the #1 NFT project of all time by total volume and number of unique holders. $3 billion, almost $4 billion in sales. The Ronin network, which is the chain that it's run on. For years, we struggled to scale on Ethereum. This was like training in the hyperbolic chamber for Dragon Ball Z. The pressure and friction allowed us to focus on our long-term vision. Sometimes you need to be small to grow big. Dude, I think the most important part of the Ronin chain right now could not be any more obvious than when we're playing Peg Axie. Peg Axie is on Polygon. The problems we're having right now on Polygon with transactions dropping, slow transaction times, gas going up. Axie Infinity and the Ronin network has already fought all of that. They've already done all of it. If you were a new game and you wanted to drop somewhere, I would most certainly be trying to drop on the Ronin network with gamers that have figured out a gaming blockchain. It only makes sense that the Ronin network slays in 2022. Ronin allowed us to dramatically lower friction around the onboarding. There's still a long way to go. Ronin now has over 300K daily active addresses alone, and is the #2 ecosystem for total NFT volume, lagging only Ethereum itself. Now, if you were a game developer and you wanted to reach gamers on the blockchain, wouldn't you want to release it on the Ronin network? I would think so. The engineering team deployed over 20 smart contracts on Ronin this year. Katana, our native exchange, exploded onto the scene in November and is already one of the top decentralized exchanges in the world, with over 25,000 daily active users and 1.2 billion in liquidity already deposited. I love this little video about staking AXS, so let's watch this little one. These are great videos, dude. I love this. SLP and AXS staking for Ron. Dude, these things are awesome. Our massive growth did not come without issues. Hypergrowth caused servers to go down in August. The volatility of the economy increased as millions of new players started to change the balance of economy inputs in the system. This is so true. Remember all the troubles we had in Axie this summer and everything they've worked through? We believe that we're building the frontier alongside our community. The frontier is messy. It will be confusing and will face and solve problems the world's never seen. At the end of the day, we'll learn together, create together, and own this emerging digital nation together. We now have the funding needed in terms of decades rather than days, weeks, and months. Sky Mavis raised a Series B. They raised a Series A and Series B in 2021. 152 million at a $3 billion valuation. It's got A16Z in here. It's got Paradigm in here. It's got FTX in here. It's got Digital in here. It's got so many more that I should be naming. Like when you click on this, you're like, okay, all right. It's got Snow in here. It's got, dude, all right. Ballers, big hitters are betting on Axie for the future. Now, your own research is not financial advice. I'm a guy in my basement researching video games, specifically fluffy little 3D potatoes on the internet and racing horses. 2022 will be the year of gameplay releases. This is what we look forward to here. This is what's going to change the game. These new releases will add increasing utility to our NFTs by unlocking fun, magical experiences. They'll also unlock new economic levers that will allow us to more easily fine-tune and balance the economy. They've already thought about it. They've thought it through. They know what they're doing. They're building it right now. Crafting, upgrades, resource sinks. They're all very important to us, and we take economic levers seriously. We look to deploy some interesting experiments this year, and perhaps sooner than you might think. What's happening here? We have 2 formidable teams internally working on Land, Project K, and Axie Infinity Origin. Origin is the 3rd iteration of our battle system. Faster, more skill-based, more beautiful. Free demo Axies to learn mechanics before you get your own Axie NFT pets. I love that as a guild manager. I love that. Free Axies to play with that you might not even earn, and then you can figure out how to play the game before we onboard you. Less coaching required. We can actually find people that know the game and are interested in playing and have already played a bit and learned the mechanics. So interesting. Love to see where Axie Infinity and the team is going. Love to see the releases of information that they're charging towards in the new year. The end of 2021, I think they really started pushing the communication that they needed to, updating the team on what they're working on the best they can without giving away the farm to other projects. All right? We obviously saw the Land trailer, shocked the world. We're going to do it again in 2022. We're going to do it together. Whether you're a battler, a collector, a trader, an AXS staker, a Ron farmer, a scholarship manager, a scholar, one of our precious content creators and artists, we want to say thank you. Let's continue learning, building together, and make history in the new year. Axie Infinity. You want to know what my top gaming pick is for 2022? It's Axie Infinity.